Right now, as you drive your car, a thick layer of carbon deposit is slowly strangling your engine from the inside. It coats your fuel injectors, suffocates your intake valves, and quietly destroys the combustion efficiency your vehicle was engineered to deliver. Dealerships know this. And for years, they have charged anywhere from $250 to $800 for a so-called induction service to clean it out. A service that, in most cases, takes a trained technician less than 20 minutes to perform. But here is what they never told you. A $2 bottle of a specific fuel additive, one that has existed for decades, removes that carbon buildup permanently and completely on its own. No appointment, no garage, no mechanic. And the industry spent years making sure you would never find out why. The automotive service industry in the United States alone generates over $150 billion per year. A significant portion of that revenue comes not from genuine mechanical failures, but from the deliberate maintenance of ignorance. Carbon buildup is one of the industry's most reliable cash cows. Because it is invisible, it sounds serious, and most drivers have no idea that their own fuel tank holds the solution. The average American car owner spends $340 on carbon-related engine services over the lifetime of a single vehicle. In the UK, that figure sits closer to $280. Multiply that across millions of vehicles, and what you are looking at is not a service industry. It is a system, one designed to keep you dependent, keep you returning, and keep you paying. You have been robbed, not at gunpoint, but quietly, invoice by invoice, every single time you sat in a waiting room and trusted a man in a uniform. But that changes today. By the time this video is done, you will know exactly which $2 additive dissolves 5 years of carbon buildup from your fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chamber, without removing a single bolt from your engine. You will know why it works at a chemical level, where to buy it, how to use it correctly, and how to get results that rival a professional induction service costing hundreds of dollars. And there is one critical mistake that causes this method to fail entirely. A mistake that almost everyone makes the first time. Stay with me, because that detail alone is worth everything. To understand why this solution stayed hidden for so long, you need to go back to the early 1990s. That was when modern gasoline direct injection engines, GDI engines, began appearing in mainstream vehicles. Unlike older port injection systems, where fuel was sprayed directly onto the intake valves and naturally washed them clean, GDI engines injected fuel straight into the combustion chamber. The valves never got that fuel wash. And so carbon, a natural byproduct of combustion, began accumulating on intake valves and injector tips with no mechanism to remove it. Engineers knew this was happening. The data was there from the very beginning. But the solution that existed, a simple polyethyramine-based detergent compound, available in concentrated form for pennies, was never promoted to consumers, because promoting it would have meant eliminating an entire category of dealer service revenue. The Society of Automotive Engineers published internal studies as early as 1996, documenting the cleaning power of PEA-based fuel additives on carbon deposits. Those studies sat in technical journals. They were never translated into consumer language. They were never put on a shelf at a gas station with a clear label. The knowledge existed. The suppression was deliberate. And this is where it gets interesting. Because what happened next was not just negligence. Major fuel companies lobbied successfully to keep minimum detergent requirements in American gasoline at levels so low that carbon buildup became not a possibility, but a certainty. The EPA set what are called minimum detergency standards for gasoline in 1995. Those standards were so weak that within a decade, engine manufacturers were quietly issuing technical service bulletins to their dealerships, internal documents warning that carbon buildup was causing misfires, rough idle, and power loss in vehicles with fewer than 50,000 miles on the clock. Those bulletins were never shared with car owners. They were shared with service departments, because a car owner who knows about the problem and can fix it for $2 is not a customer. But a car owner who notices a rough idle and walks into a dealership is worth $400 before he even sits down. What I am about to show you is the part the industry spent decades making sure you would never find out. Because once you understand how this compound works at a molecular level, you will never pay for an induction service again. Stay with me. The solution is called PE, polyethyramine. And before you switch off thinking this is just another bottle of gas station snake oil, understand this. PE is not a marketing ingredient. It is a specific class of chemical compound that was originally developed for industrial pipeline cleaning. It works by bonding directly to carbon deposits at a molecular level, not dissolving them the way water dissolves salt, but chemically attacking the hydrocarbon chains that make carbon buildup so stubbornly adhesive. Think of it this way. Carbon deposits inside your engine are not like dust you can blow away. They are more like calcified mineral scale inside a pipe, hard, layered, bonded to metal surfaces over years of heat cycles. What PEA does is essentially unlock that bond. It breaks the adhesion between the carbon molecule and the metal surface, suspends the loosened particles in the fuel mixture, and carries them out through the combustion process as exhaust. The engine cleans itself from the inside out while it runs. No disassembly, no specialist equipment, no $400 invoice, just chemistry doing exactly what chemistry was always capable of doing, if anyone had bothered to tell you about it. If you have found this information useful, consider joining the people who have already subscribed to this channel, people who have decided they would rather know the truth about how things work than keep paying for the privilege of not knowing it. Now, let us get into exactly how to use this correctly. The product you are looking for is any fuel system cleaner with a high concentration of PEA, polyethyramine, as its active ingredient. The most widely available and independently verified option is Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. A single bottle costs between $9 and $12 at AutoZone, Walmart, O'Reilly Auto Parts, or Amazon. In the UK, it is available through Eurocar Parts in most Halfords locations. Now, here's the first thing most people get wrong. They buy the standard Techron bottle, the one designed for a full tank of gas, and they use it at the diluted rate printed on the label. That is the maintenance dose. For a cleaning treatment on an engine with 5 or more years of carbon accumulation, you need the concentrate version, and you need to use it at a higher ratio. Pour the entire bottle of Techron Concentrate Plus into a fuel tank that is no more than 1/4 full. This increases the concentration of PEA in your fuel mixture and dramatically improves the cleaning action. Do not top the tank off immediately. Drive the vehicle on that concentrated mixture, ideally for at least 30 to 50 miles of varied driving that includes both city, stop and go, and sustained highway speeds above 55 miles per hour. The variation in engine load is important. It creates different combustion temperatures that help the PEA compound reach deposits in different areas of the fuel system. After that tank is exhausted, fill up normally and repeat the treatment once more within the next 2 fill-ups. 3 treatments over 500 miles is enough to address the kind of buildup that accumulates over 5 years of average driving. Now, the critical mistake. The one that makes this entire method fail. Do not use a cheap generic fuel injector cleaner that lists its active ingredient as PIB, polyisobutylene, instead of PEA. PIB is a softer detergent. It is effective at preventing new buildup in a clean engine, but it has almost no ability to remove existing carbon deposits. Most of the bargain-priced fuel additives on the shelf, the ones that cost $1.99 and make the same claims, use PIB because it is cheaper to manufacture. You will pour them into your tank, feel nothing change, and conclude that fuel additives do not work. That conclusion is exactly what the industry wants you to reach. Check the label. If it does not specifically list PEA or polyethyramine as the active ingredient, put it back on the shelf. Before wrapping up, there is one more thing about PEA that almost nobody talks about, and it is the reason this compound is genuinely different from every other additive on the market. PEA does not just clean carbon from your fuel injectors, it also restores the spray pattern of the injector nozzle itself. Over years of use, carbon partially blocks injector nozzles, causing fuel to spray unevenly into the combustion chamber. An uneven spray means incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion means reduced power, worse fuel economy, and higher emissions. When PEA clears those nozzle deposits, the injector returns to its factory spray pattern. Independent laboratory testing has shown that a single PEA treatment on a heavily fouled injector can restore fuel atomization to within 95% of the original specification. That is not a cleaning result, that is a restoration result. And it is something a $400 dealer induction service cannot reliably claim. Now consider what this actually means in real-world terms. Before treatment, a 2015 Ford F-150 with 80,000 miles and significant carbon buildup is running rough at idle, showing a marginal misfire code and returning 16 miles per gallon in mixed driving, down from the 19 it delivered when new. The owner takes it to a dealership. The service advisor recommends a full induction service and fuel system flush. Total cost, $389. After the service, idle smooths out and fuel economy improves, but only to around 17.5 miles per gallon because the walnut blasting procedure used in the induction service, while effective on intake valves, does not address injector spray pattern or combustion chamber deposits. Now consider the same vehicle treated 3 times over 6 weeks with Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus at a total cost of $27. Independent dynamometer testing of vehicles in this condition has shown fuel economy improvements of 8 to 12% following a proper PEA treatment cycle. Idle quality returns. Throttle response sharpens. In many cases, vehicles that were showing marginal misfire codes, the kind that trigger a check engine light, have those codes clear entirely within 2 treatment cycles, because the misfire was caused by injector fouling, not a failed component. The dealership would have charged you $150 just to read and diagnose that code. The $9 bottle of Techron would have fixed the underlying cause before the light ever came on, if you had known to use it. What you now know is something the automotive service industry has spent decades and billions of dollars in service revenue making sure you would never piece together. A $2 to $12 bottle of the right fuel additive, used correctly and at the right concentration, removes carbon buildup that mechanics charge hundreds of dollars to address, and in many cases, does it more completely. But here's what makes this story bigger than a single bottle of fuel additive. Carbon buildup is only one layer of the problem. Underneath it, hiding behind the rough idle and the lost fuel economy, there's a second issue that develops in engines with heavy carbon accumulation, one that a fuel additive cannot fix on its own. It involves the intake manifold. It involves a component that most car owners have never heard of. And when it fails, the repair bill does not start at $400. It starts at $200. That is the next part of this story. And what you will find out is that the same industry logic that kept the PEA solution hidden from you applies there too. Except the stakes are considerably higher. The question you should be asking yourself right now is not whether your engine has carbon buildup. After everything you have just learned, you already know the answer to that. The question is, what else are they not telling you?